poverty. It sounds like a crazy dream, but it's the time to start advancing together to that dream. Platform for innovation. There are many platforms. What does platform mean? If we look in a dictionary, we have two definitions. None of this is the one that we are going to use. For us, platform is the base upon which we integrate capabilities. There is a CAF, it's a bank, Avina, #1 in creating social impact in the world, and many others. These integrated capabilities will make possible to advance towards that dream. We need to increase efficacy. We will show why it's that important. We need to achieve scale to urgently alleviate the suffering of millions. Today, 1/3 of the population lives in deep poverty. 1.2 billion earns less than 1.25 cents per day. This is misery. 175 million people in Latin America lives in poverty. We used to believe, or wants to believe, that the poverty is something that happens somewhere, maybe Africa, far away. It's in our backyard. And it's not because we don't have the economic resources to fight poverty. If we look to the figures, it's 2.5 billion per day what is mobilized or invested in poverty alleviation. 2.5 billion per day. So where is the impact? What happened? There's lots of institutions, lots of good people, noble causes, all working together for this. We are losing the fight against poverty. Social unrest is not a problem for a particular country or location. It's transversal, to all the world. Why? Many look for the answer in ideology, politics, economics. The truth is that technology makes visible the misery in which 5.2 billion people live today. So people discover how poor they are. People understand that they lose really the ability to dream with a better future. And that's happening today, when never before humanity had so many technologies, so many knowledge available for all. But technology has not evolved hand in hand with people needs. Today, innovation is made for those who can pay for the innovation. Innovation with purpose is innovation for those who cannot pay for the innovation. It's our responsibility to find new models, how to make these efforts really to work. It's not the lack of efforts, it's a problem of the model that we're using. From the innovation, and I'm doing this by purpose, if we want to continue working as we always worked, we will achieve the same results. So let's try to find the explanation in different things. For example, in 1965, 3.3 billion people were the population of the world. Today, 7.3. It means that the population of the world was increased in 4 billion people. It's a huge amount of people in a short period of time. Of course, it creates many of the problems that we're facing. But I want you to pay attention to this. The United Nations tell us that today we have 4 billion people living in poverty. So we increase the population in 4 billion, and we have 4 billion living in poverty. What are we doing? And if we look at large corporations, even banks, foundations, innovation centers, at the end of the year we give bonuses and awards of how well we're doing our work. What are we doing? We need to innovate. In sports, in politics, in academia, everywhere, people is speaking about innovation. But we need to innovate. If we look today, when the world is full of technology and knowledge, technology today is like this, it's vertical. The fight against poverty is like this, and even more flat. Which is our challenge, our real challenge, is to change the acceleration of the fight against poverty. If we can change the acceleration with the same amount of resources, in less time, we will create impact. But we don't want to be part of this new game. We want to lead. That is our dream. We are here because we want to lead a new way to fight against our big challenges. And we want to do it in a different way, in a world that everyone speaks through technologies, Twitter, everything. Everyone speaks. We want to be quiet. We want our impact to speak on our behalf. Innovation with purpose. We already demonstrate with one of our programs that thanks to Abina, BID, and some individuals, for the last 5 years we were evolving in a technology. Once we succeed creating a new technology, that I will show some slides, instead of selling the patent and becoming a millionaire, we decided together to find a way to connect advanced science and technology with poverty. The technology, in a few words, is just a simple tube where we accelerate polluted water to 623 kilometers per hour, changing the liquid into a biphasic stream of bubbles and droplets. When you change the speed of the flow, you create vacuum. When we have this mix of droplets and bubbles in vacuum and produce an electric discharge, we initiate plasma. So we convert in a continuous flow polluted water into plasma. For what? It's well known that at the surface of the sun, viruses and bacteria cannot survive. So we change the polluted water into plasma. In only 25 milliseconds, 10 to the 8th power of bacteria is reduced to 0. And we transform polluted water into safe water. So once you have a technology, the market says that you are a successful person because you can sell these for billions. If we sell the patents, we will get money, but we will make nothing for those children that dies every 90 seconds for drinking polluted water. So thank you to Abina and others. We transform that in distributed solutions. And we take this into very poor communities. Only 3 hours after receiving these units, they start receiving safe water. We tested for 2 years already. We received also the involvement of the Chilean government. Our president's there it was a celebration. And we installed this in very poor communities. And it worked perfect for all this time. So what we did, we created a new technology, We take water to a poor community? Yes, but that's not important. What we did is we showed to the world that it is possible and necessary to connect advanced science with poverty, that we can affect the quality of life of people in an instant. We can change the acceleration of the fight against poverty and provide access to technology to the people now, not when the technology is obsolete. So this is the platform. Together we share the vision that is possible. Not only that we need to do it, but that it is possible to do it. Just to give an example, because when we say that we want to change the acceleration of the fight against poverty, it's important to give numbers. We believe that we can mobilize $100 million and create the impact that today is created with 500 million. We want to increase in 5 times the efficacy of the efforts. OECD published some figures. They said that with $455 they took or provide water to one person. So they need 500 million to take to 1.1 million people. If we take now 1.1 million people and we divide it by the number of distributed solutions, as the picture that I show, we understand that to take water to them, we need 4,000 units. 4,000 units plus the current cost of the unit, it means that we can take water for the same amount of people for 1/5 of the investment in 1/3 of the time. And because this is an innovation, we have to find what are the drivers, what are we want to be measured. The United Nations published that to take water to all the people that today is in lack of safe water, they need 15 years and more investment, 114 billions per year. That's a huge amount, several $1 trillion to be spent for that. We made a different calculation. We looked the figures and decided how many distributed solutions we need to take water to these people. And we discovered 2 things that are very important. Only in 5 years, 1/3 of the time, we can cover the same amount of population. But with very, very small amount, only, I think, 60 days of the investment that they will make for 15 years, we can make the same result. But that is not the important thing. This can be called efficacy, profits, savings, but I want to invite you to consider this in a different way. What we did, we put a number to compassion. We are preventing that 250 children that will, I don't know, say how is it?
Born.
Yeah,
They will be born.
they will be born in this period. If we make this, we will, all these are a big portion or percentage of those children that will be born with water, not in the misery. So we can together put a number for compassion. But now, what is the value of saving the children that today do not have access to safe water, if they will not have a planet to live on? Because we cannot focus in that program. This is a very fancy program. It's our technology, it's our program, we integrate our capabilities and we are creating huge impact. If we take 1 million units from now to 2030, we will give water to 300 million people. It's going to be the biggest campaign in the world in history. But we're facing other problems. Climate change is the greatest threat facing for future generations. We cannot close our eyes and try to think or believe that this is not happening. 4 of the 9 planetary limits we have already been surpassed. So we need a new model, and we have a model, and we also have resources. Is this enough? It's not. It's hard to explain to third parties why we insist, and me personally, everywhere, I insist the importance of Avina. It's not because I really thank Avina about the help that they gave me. It's because I am absolutely convinced that when we have knowledge, experience on the field, with the people, we have a Amazon Web Services here. And this amount of knowledge and experience, these are not terabytes that you can take in a hard disk. This is people, this is knowledge. We have to capitalize this in the benefit of millions that are suffering. That is the real invitation. So Avina, I'm sorry I'm speaking about Avina, but they are very smart because they discovered that they are leaders in 20 years building social capital, but they want to continue being leaders. So they are imagining how we can continue doing that for the next 20 years. And they are good people, but they are smart. They want to use CAF, they want to use my foundation, my little foundation, WTT, many others. They understand that this is not the digital era, it's the era of collaboration. So all these programs are based in real experience. We have the ability to scale up this if we change the model, if we allocate the resources, and if we work hard. So the platform for innovation with purpose is based on intervention models that are proven. It's a flexible. The quantum computing, the 4th generation, is 5 years from now. Everything will change again. You know who is the last person that will adapt to this? The poor people of the world. It's our responsibility to be prepared, to anticipate this era. We have execution models, and we are integrating capacities. The integrated objectives model says that every single actor should work hard for its own objectives, but working together in a way that the collective impact that we create is allocated in the most vulnerable communities and people. If we do this, we really will impact where we need to create impact. We're not going to be the one who will solve the problems in the world, but we will influence how people's doing things. That is going to be our legacy. It's our obligation to imagine what's going to be this in 5 years. But also, we need to be serious and responsables. What would happen if we do not succeed? What would happen if we fail? In a world that is collapsing, our real risk, because we cannot guarantee the success, our real risk is, instead of increasing efficacy 5 times, maybe it's going to be 2 times, 100%. Maybe we will not take water to 300 million people. It's going to be only 100 million. Maybe we will be frustrated. Those people will be very happy. And we all together, we will be in peace. And that is innovation with purpose. Sorry about my English, but I try to share with you what is really what mobilize our hearts and what are we trying to achieve together. Thank you.